welcome to class tonight. Come to attention, bow, right off the bat, just start running. So we are in that point of test prep. So today we're going to do arm lock flow to start getting ready for the test. We've done a lot more work recently on wrist lock flow. So the next few classes are just going to be things that we pick out to work on getting ready for the test. If you have things that you feel that you would like to see again or need to work on, please shoot us a message, put something on Facebook Live. We will work it into the very next class. Today I'm going to predominantly focus on moves 1 through 6.
Hey Nathan, hey Rochelle.
How to do them super awesome.
Hey Domenico.
Well as how you might find yourself in that scenario, alright? But we are also going to do a lot of ab work. We haven't done as much ab core strengthening on some of the things we've been working straight. So I hope you're ready for a good sweat for the warm-up. So start bringing those knees up higher.
Hey Chad.
Go ahead and pump your arms. We are doing arm lock flow. We'll want to keep those nice and loose too. Now bring your heels to the butt. Stop, go out wide. Squat, come up, front kick. Squat, swapping legs. Remember when you squat, push your heels into the ground, keep your chin up. I like to look at a point really high on the wall away from me. Keeps me from bending my back. Nice. Swing your arms back and forth. Beautiful. Alrighty. Hit the ground. We're going to do Kimura crunches, which means we're going to sit up to the side and turn. Opposite side. You can do these where you do both sides in one. I like to do them where I turn just to one side to really get a good oblique stretch. Doesn't mean the other one doesn't work. They're going to hit different things, so swapping between them is a really good way to do it. Sometimes to twist both ways, sometimes to just twist one.
Nice, Joey.
Nice. All right, I want you to come down. Keep your head off the ground, bring your feet up a little bit. We're going to flutter kick from the good old army days. Just kick back and forth. That's going to work a different part of your stomach. Nice, bring those knees in. Straight squat or crunches. Straight in front of you, nice and just traditional crunches, keeping the knees up. Beautiful. All right. When you work your stomach that solid, you want to give your back some muscles too to help. If your back can't support your stomach, it's not going to help you. Turn your belt if you're wearing it so that the knot's on the front. Go lay down on your belly. All right. Hands palm up. Everything nice and rock straight. Lift your shoulders, lift your heels. Hold it. Relax.
Hi Ben, hi Brian.
And again. Relax. One more time. Send a message out to Ben. We need to know if Brian wants to test. because he's eligible.
Just a private message.
Yeah, well, you can just put it on the page too, but just,
Okay, let's put it on the page then.
you know, just say, hey, we haven't done the invite, but he is eligible. And again, nice. All right, pull straight back, come onto your knees, stretch your shoulders out. Come back forward. Do the cobra stretch. Your belly nice and stretched. All right, stand up. Interlock your fingers. Straight up. Push, 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 push. Arch your back. Lean over to one side. Other side.
Nice.
Pull that arm across. And opposite direction, or other arm.
Other arm?
That thing. All right, back up, straight down. Touch the floor, Nathan.
Do it.
Okay. Arm lock flow. As I said tonight, I just want to predominantly work on the first 6 moves. If you are one of my people who know farther and you do want to see a particular one, please pop it in the messages early so we can make sure I work it in. But what I wanted to do is make sure that it's really solid and a lot of fun, and based mostly on what the test will be this time, the things that are going to be included. For Leah Rochelle, you only need 3 moves, so the other ones are bonus anyway. Neil's mean. Just in case you guys haven't met him yet, he's horrible. He's going to come in and try to punch me. So you remember that clinch versus punch drill we were doing on Wednesday? Those loopy punches that we said if you were new to the clinch versus punch. That's what this is predicated off of. So we're assuming it's either somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of skill with like boxing, kind of like a barroom brawl type of thing. Drunk people tend to think it looks really cool, so that makes it strong. Beautiful thing about that kind of punch is it's not, because there's no backup mass supporting it. What makes a straight punch so dangerous is that Neil is behind it. So whatever I get into, it's got all of his body, so I have to get it offline, because if I try to stop it straight on, he's moving through with it. So with it loopy like that, the arm stays here, his body might keep moving in, but the arm stays here. Hence the block of the first one. I'm not blocking only the arm. My inner block is seriously right there in the pocket of his shoulder, so that I can stop some of his body momentum too, because I'm not as scared of this as I am of this. So I want to prevent him from running me over. Just in case you guys have not heard that philosophy yet in jiu-jitsu class, choo-choo train, run him over. You let me run you over, I'll do it all day long. He will too. So, blocking at the arm so I don't actually get punched because I like my nose. And at the shoulder, stopping momentum. As soon as I'm here, because if we're going to get into mass and strong and what's going to happen if we fight like arm wrestling, he wins. I literally just slide right over. So I'm not even getting into the fight over let's see who can power through this, because I know I'm going to lose. That's why he punched at me. I'm just getting him to stop the momentum, wrapping around immediately, so he can keep having momentum in here. It won't feel very good, but he can hit me there fairly routinely. I'm okay. It's not the floating ribs. Those ones will hurt his fingers. All right, block wrap. Grab my own wrist. Nice and quick. my upper part of the arm is on his lower. My lower part of my arm is on his upper. So I'm crossing this elbow, which means when I rev my motorcycle, that doesn't feel good to him. That's how we get there. That's really, really, really important. This is all nice and smooth. Even if I don't do the second block, if I do only have one hand, Caesar, all I got to do is just block and wrap. So that's the big thing of the lock. The lock is all about the hand that's blocking. This is all about body momentum. So I really only just need one to prevent from dying. So block, wrap. If you do have a partner, I want you guys to do that a couple of times. Now, everything I'm doing is straightening that arm. That's what we're barring, how we're barring the elbow. He's not like this when I get there. As it comes in and I rev everything, that's straightening. There's pressure against my shoulder and I'm lifting up. So I'm making the elbow straight. Neil doesn't like that, so he wants to bend his elbow. The way he bends his elbow is pushing it down by reaching up towards my hair. It's a very, very, very common arm lock defense. He's going to reach up and try to make a muscle. Ukis, you got to do this for your partner. Reach up, try to grab their hair. So I make my lock. Neil reaches up and tries to grab my hair. So the way I protect against this is we're going to stand side by side and be buddies. This is a barroom brawl. He's drunk, so we'll go to the bar together. So I come right up next and get hip to hip with him, which bends that elbow. So while he's still reaching up, that's okay. I get his hand away from my hair by looking at my own palm. Now, his arm only goes so far, but I need to read it. I'm old. I can't read it that far away. It's got to get close to me. So, step, wrap, he grabs my hair, I just open up. Raise my hand up. Try to wave to myself. The closer I bring my hips together, because he wanted to bend his elbow, he didn't like the straight arm, I'm like, fine. The closer I bring my hips to him and more I bend his elbow, the faster he can. See how much lower my hand is than it was a second ago? The straighter I let his arm come out, the more he starts getting muscles. So I'm not winning this fight anymore. I have to be here or farther in. Got to get his shoulder off balance. So if I pull out and let his arm straight, he's going to win the muscle fight. And I don't want to win the muscle. I don't want him to win the muscle fight. So stay really, really close. That is your buddy. He swings, I block, I wrap, he goes for my hair. I get really nice and snugly close to him and I try to see my own hand. Now my next one, we're going to do a lot of things on Udi Gurami. I can get there an awful lot of ways. The biggest reason I'm going to go there at this point, if we're in the flow, is because he does pull away. He's quick and he's pretty strong, and he starts straightening his arm. Now remember, as his arm got straight, even if it doesn't come all the way out like it just did, if I have enough that he can't come out, as he gets straight, remember what he did? He's pushing my shoulder off balance. He's stronger than me, and then he's going to start locking me. So I'm going to step in really quick. I'm going to put my leg closer to him, behind him. That elbow is gratuitous violence, but do it. Go over the top of his shoulder. Roll his shoulder down. Grab my own wrist and try to let him touch his hair with his thumb. Now he's had a recent haircut, so I got to bring his thumb way up. Okay, I can get to Udi Gurami a lot of ways. In the flow, it comes from a natural pattern of him defending what I'm doing. But I don't have to be there. I can go straight to the Udi Gurami off the punch. Again, that same block where I wrap up. If I push this hand up quick, where the hand on his arm was the one that went up quick, if I really work on deflecting his arm and guiding where his arm goes, but this hand slides right up his shoulder, I can do Udi Gurami first. So that can be a straight defense off a punch. It doesn't have to just be in the flow. So I can get there the same way by him punching, I slide up, bring his arm straight to an Udi Gurami. We can kind of be in a little bit of a tussle. I can have my hands on him and I can get into it. That's why the flow kind of shows it that way. Pretty much any time where I can get my elbow up over his shoulder and I can think about doing that guillotine we were talking about on the clinch versus punch, I can do an Udi Gurami. And I personally like that. because I'm often not the taller person. And guillotine is good for the tall person. The nice thing about Udigrami is that as I wedge that elbow in here, it may be his momentum. If his momentum's already going, I just let it keep going. That's how I get him down. But if we're in the fight, I can use the bony part of my arm to kind of force him to be shorter. And I like making him shorter than me. So he punches, I come up, dig my elbow in, wedge down, spin around. Just lay your hand straight across the back. Bring your other wrist right up. So I'm just literally with my hands, just making a connector. His hand just happens to be in there. All right. Another thing to think of when you start talking about an Udigrami, he's not stupid. I made him short. He wants to make me short. He's probably going to attack my legs. So when I'm standing in here on the Udigrami, I kind of want to open up a little bit and turn away. If he starts coming into my leg, I can pivot really quick and make that really tighter for him. I can take him to the ground too. That could be really, really, really dirty.
Knee strike.
I can do knee strikes and bring him nice and flat while I stand up and hold on to the arm. So if we were really in a true fight, I'm not going to just, ooh, I caught you, I'm sorry. Caught him with the elbow. I am going to do that in a true fight. I'm not going to just stand here and leave my legs exposed because he's going to go for him and try to take him down. Now, if I see that happening and I'm smart, I just make the fall happen before he wants to. It's a sacrifice. If he goes for this leg and I can't get out of it, I'm literally just going to pull both my legs off and we're going to go to the ground. That will break his arm. Don't play with that at home. But if he looks like he's going for him, I'm literally going to slam right into his face and open up and tighten my lock so I can stay standing up. I don't really want to go to the ground in a self-defense scenario if I can help it because there might be other attackers. So it's not the same as it can be in grappling. All right, number one, punch, wrap the arm around, lock. He goes for my hair. We get next to each other, become buddies. I try to see my hand. Step and open, go across the shoulder and wrap the arm. There again, remember they might go for the leg. If he goes for the leg, that's the reason the flow goes right into the next one. As I pull my leg away, I bring his arm straight, turn his thumb, natural flow of the arm. This is a total natural flow. It's how it wants to go. Just bring his arm out from under, step underneath it, and break the arm. Lots of ways you can get to that.
I mean, not too far, not too short.
Yep, exactly. Lots of ways you can get to that from the outside, but that's pretty much just a natural. If we're in any kind of fight and I can get my shoulder underneath his arm, that's where I'm going to go. The way you make this a break, I have to be under the tricep. If I am under the lower part of his arm, there's no break. And he's strong, he digs his elbow into my shoulder, and he wins. So I've got to be under the tricep. I don't want to be so far in his armpit that he can bend in that way because that's the way it wants to bend. So I've got to be against the part of the arm that is the arm. I want to hold on to his hand, so I pull his fingers down also. If I'm just grabbing here, again we're into the battle of who can do a better curl, and whoever's attacking probably is stronger, that's why they attack. So I can curl my arm a lot more. I have more strength in my arm curl than he has in his hand curl. But I don't have more strength than he has in his arm curl. So I'm going to bend his fingers and say, curl those. Now he's not doing it. And if worse comes to worse, and this really is, you know, the difference of me versus the Rock, I'm going to bring the arm up a little bit and squat, and stand up as I break the arm over mine. This is going to be very, very forceful and very dynamic. If it's just a controlling move, all I got to do is just have enough to where if I twitch just a little bit, you want to be froggy? No, you don't really want to be froggy, do you?
Still?
Because he's tapping every single time I twitch the fingers a little bit. So that allows you to have a little bit of a break. All right. I'm going to let Neil do this to me a couple of times.
Oh.
I've been beating him up pretty good. All right, so I'm going to punch in. 1. You guys are so welcome. 2. 3. All right, he's going to straighten this arm right over his shoulder again. Now, he is holding on to my arm. He's doing that, 1, because he's nice, and 2, because he really will win the fight of the curls. So he's a little bit confident there. He's getting ready for number 5. Number 5 is the throw. There again, if you start getting into the curl battle and you really are weaker for hand versus arm, just slide up. So what he's going to do is shoulder to shoulder. So he's going to turn to where we're facing opposite from each other. Slow down. The arm stays between us. So he passes his arms in front of his face. My arm passes. He cannot stop at the head. If he stops at the head, even I will win this battle. I'll pull him over my back. He's got to bring it all the way through, and then he would literally keep taking me to the ground. We do not do this throw. We don't pretend to do this throw. We don't get people's feet off the ground. We don't do anything past the point where their shoulders get off balance.
Caesar.
Once you have the shoulders off balance, you have successfully made this happen, and there is no tap. Because in Shio-nage, it goes straight from, this is kind of comfortable, you're stretching my arm out, to all of a sudden it's too
Tearing the
fast.
shoulder.
You're tearing the shoulder out. What Neil is doing when he's coming across, Shio-nage is, we do this throw face to face a lot of times. All of our hip throws are essentially Shio-nage, but we're doing it safely. Neil is literally can take my hand, pull it all the way through to where his hip is. Do you see where my other hand's poking through? That's where he would bring his arms down. He would literally bring his arm to where it's naturally supposed to be. And at some point, either you find out if I'm from the Matrix and I can flip right over his back, I can't, or my arm keeps going and my body stays right here. So he's basically like separating the Christmas turkey. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arms straight out. Hold the hand, break. When I grab and pull across, I bend everything up over my shoulder. Turn to where we're facing away from each other. Bring my arm from the side that it's on all the way to the other side. That tips him off balance. The second he's off balance, he's there. If we were really continuing this, if I really, really, really was in danger of my life, I would step back with my left foot, pull everything through, and see how tight a spin Neil makes as he falls apart. From Shio-nage, I want to face him again. So I literally just turn his face forward and bring his arm with me. So that same movement where I brought it across, I bring my arms back and just bring it right to my hip. Do not let go. I didn't let go here. I don't need to let go here. Everything stays exactly as it is. You're going to be set up exactly how you need to be. Bring the hand that's farthest away to your hip. Hand that's closest stays underneath the tricep, and I'm going to lay everything nice and flat. I can keep holding on. I like to come across, but you can still hold the hand. Then, remember I said tricep, not armpit? That's the arm, so I have room to shift my elbow high. If I'm in the armpit, it doesn't matter how high I lift my elbow, it doesn't do anything. His hand stays at my hip. I'm shifting the elbow that's closest to him while I'm holding onto my hip. So as I shift, I'm barring that elbow straight again.
Make sure you're rocking. Notice how Julie's rocking me, and not just pulling up, but rocking me. That's how you're going to get that set.
This is a rockabye baby motion. So it's really, really, really important. It seems simplistic, but seriously, take your hand with nothing in it. Bring it right across at your hip, and then bring your elbow up. That's the motion I'm making. There just happens to be an arm. So bring your arm all the way across and elbow high. Now remember, the important thing is this hand doesn't move. It's staying right at his hip. So I'm holding his arm still as I'm putting the pressure against it. What's happening is I'm putting pressure right underneath the tricep, and because his hand can't move, it's hyperextending the elbow. Alrighty. We got it that direction.
Okay.
Oh, timing is almost perfect. One more time through, guys. The first 6 moves. I told you 6 moves. That was perfect. All right, Neil punches. Slide around, block, 1. He goes for my hair. We spin forward. I look at my hand. He slides out. I grab his wrist, elbow. Bring his shoulders down. Uti Garami. He goes for my leg. I step through, straighten his arm out, bring it over my back. He starts to win the bicep curl challenge, so we go back to back, and I get him off balance. Still holding on. Spin next to him again, hip to hip. Bring the hand that's farthest away from him, all the way to my hip. Make sure my arm is underneath his tricep, and then I rock the baby. All right, that is the first 6 moves. Everybody who's going for yellow belt, you need 3 of them. Everybody else, you need more than what we did tonight, except for Caesar. I know you guys know them, but I really wanted to focus on the beginning of this. We did send out, or I think we sent out, I'll double check with Jay, we got everything put together. Our test block, because we're looking at the times that we have tests, and we're looking at the times you guys are adults, you have jobs, and we're looking at when we also need other people to be able to get their kids there. Our test block is going to be Friday the 5th of June at 6:15. If you are Caesar, you're going to do a breakout room with Mr. Neil. You're going to be over in like just a few minutes while Lee and Rochelle and possibly Nathan and possibly Brian are sweating, and we're going to let you go. The rest of you guys, we're going to go through the stuff that we need to go through. If you are Nathan and you plan on testing, we're going to have to videotape some stuff. It will not happen in the block we have. I think we have a 30, maybe 40-minute window. So we are going to just look at the beginner stuff in this particular test. If worst comes to worst and we need to do some finagling after Caesar's breakout room, I might break you out, Nathan, and do some of just the advanced stuff. Obviously, we are not going to ask you to throw people on these kinds of floors. What we're looking for is that you have a working knowledge of how it works and you understand how to get into where you could control the body and make the throw happen. There's other things like that. We're not going to be stupid crazy and ask you to do things that could really injure you or your partner if you have a partner. If you don't have a partner, again, also a lot of stuff in the air and working knowledge of how you would manipulate the body. But we're not going to hold up testing, sorry, Domenico, except for black belts, during this time period when you guys have been working so hard. So if you have questions, shoot them out to me. I'm going to check with Jay and make sure you guys did get the information. And thank you so much for coming out. We'll keep working on test stuff the rest of the week.